us continue to grow. But we try to give you some exclusive content from time to time, and I don't think many people had this for you, and that was Kirk Herbstreit talking about this Clemson Georgia matchup, talking about the game. And so I thought I'd say, you know what, we'll give you a little bit of that here on the program. And again, for our premium subscribers, all this audio available over on our website. But here's Kirk Herbstreit talking about Clemson and Georgia and the season opener, and just these two teams being willing to get after it. As we titled the show, man, it's the deep end edition.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Just fired up for the season to be here. Live this sport 12 months out of the year. And after everything we all went through a year ago, I'm just kind of chomping at the bit to get to Thursday night and watch college football with fans, and just fired up to see what we all love about the sport, the pageantry, and just knocking on wood that we're able to get through the 2021 season where we have some sense of normalcy. But fired up to answer some of your questions. Can't wait for the season. Can't wait to see these teams. We got a little taste last week, and there's already storylines starting to develop. So love to answer your questions, and hopefully we can get to as many as possible.
Okay, thanks, Kirk. We'll start with Scott Fowler at the Charlotte Observer, and then we'll go to Chip Towers at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution after that. Go ahead, Scott.
All right, you know what, I realized I played the wrong audio for you. Well, not the wrong audio, but I definitely did want you to hear the question. So let me switch gears here for you, and I'll bring it to you. My apologies. My apologies to everybody out there listening. I'm gonna switch gears on that and give you some without the questions and all that back and forth. I totally forgot that had all of that in there. So here's Kirk Herbstreit talking about going to Charlotte for this game, a neutral site game for the Tigers and Georgia.
Thanks, Scott. I love going to Charlotte. I think it's a fun town. It seems to be the last few years have been a lot of construction downtown, where at least where our hotel is. But I think the opportunity to get in there and feel some of that energy of college football, you can tell that I know it's known in that region for hoops, but I think it's really grown over the last decade or so when it comes to energy and some of the events that they've had in that town. I've been very fortunate to call a lot of the ACC championship games there and some neutral site games. And I don't know, I think Atlanta, when I think of kind of the heart of the SEC, I think of Atlanta. And I just feel like every year with the bigger games that they get in that region, I think people embrace it. And what better way than to start it with, matchup with Georgia and Clemson, two teams that think they're going to the playoff. Two teams that think they're going to win a national championship. Their fan bases definitely do. It's great to see those two teams and those two brands collide in week one. We I think, are the lucky ones because we get to watch it.
Now, Dabo Swinney earlier in the week on Tiger Calls talked about getting an opportunity to play against somebody else after they've been banging around on each other at practice. And that's sort of what Kirk Herbstreit also reiterated about this game.
I don't know. I look at this as anytime you get two powerhouses together like that without a game or two to warm up before a meeting, who's done a better job in August of hitting each other and going through camp in a very physical way is probably the team that will come out of here with a win. So who wins at the line of scrimmage? And then which of these two quarterbacks? Both are expected to have great years. It's not so much who makes the play. I think it's who avoids the disastrous play, the pick six, or trying to make something happen week one, trying to live up to a certain expectation of your position and your name, and you force a ball and it gets intercepted and it costs you. So to me, it's the line of scrimmage and it's the quarterback who avoids the disastrous play. It'll probably be the team that wins it.
There you go, Kirk Herbstreit giving some analysis on this Clemson Georgia matchup. And again, the name of the episode today, the Deep End Edition. And he talked about that as well, that, when you look at the NFL and high school, preseason, no preseason for college football.
I think a few things. I think I've always looked at August football, and I think, man, I'm watching all these NFL preseason games, and even my kids, going through high school football, we got high school preseason games, where you can kind of work out the kinks. College football, unless you schedule a couple, quote unquote cupcakes and then get into a big game, you really don't have preseason football. So that's why I was saying earlier, camp becomes vitally important. What you're doing, how physical you are, how your scrimmages are going, how much you try to make those scrimmages feel like a game. That's what you have to do when you're playing a team like Clemson or playing a team like Georgia with such high expectations. So I think the challenge is the speed of the game is not like you're breaking in the Citadel or, a team where you can gradually get ready for that second or third or fourth week. Here, you got to hit mid-season form. I mean, you're jumping into the deep end of the pool, and you've got to be able to hope that your guys are understanding how fast this game will move.
All right, if you'll grant me a little fun here and a little leeway, we could pretend that Kirk's on the program. So, Kirk, have you been practicing? I mean, you got these two quarterbacks, JT Daniels and DJ Uiagalelei. Have you been running through DJ's name quite a bit?
Uiagalelei. I've been practicing all summer. There it is. Or Big Cinco, whatever you prefer. Right. First, JT Daniels, watched him a ton when he was at USC. Came in and kind of right away picked up that system. Obviously got hurt, opened up the door for Keaton Slovis and never got his job back and transferred out. I thought we might see him earlier than we did. I know that with Mathis and Bennett there, I think all of us were thinking, what's wrong with JT Daniels? And then eventually they got to him those last 4 games, and they went from averaging 29 points a game and to 37 points a game. So it was a significant jump when Daniels went into the game those last 4 games. And I think it kind of gave you an indicator of what's to come in Todd Monken's offense. They've had
So there's Kirk Herbstreit again talking about Georgia and Todd Monken's offense going up against Brent Venables and that Clemson Tiger defense. My prediction on this matchup of top 5 teams in Charlotte. We'll have it covered. We'll be there tomorrow night. We'll give you our prediction on it all here on the show that shakes the Southland right after this.